today's episode of Daily Musings. I'm Allysia, your host, and it probably comes as no surprise to you that I like to read. I may or may not have done videos about how much I like to read, and I always have. And then, as such, it probably comes as no surprise to you that I like to read with my daughter, who is currently 3.5. So I thought, we have a ton of books, and we seem to accumulate more and more kids' books pretty much every day, it feels like. We go to the library a lot, but we have, I tried to gather a stack of what I would consider her 12 favorite books. Now, this is always rotating. For anyone who has children or who have spent a lot of time with them, there tends to be a pattern of book reading. It's every single night and every single day, and like every opportunity you read maybe the same 1, 2, 3 books over and over and over and over again for a period of, say, weeks. And then that book is basically forgotten forever, and then you get obsessed with a new set of 1, 2, or 3 books, and then you do them over and over and over again. And then every now and then you do like a greatest hits, and you go back and bring the old ones in. But that's how my kid reads. So she basically learns these books to the point of memorization and then moves on. So I'm going to share which books those are, the ones that are the most requested, the one that she's picked and kept around. I want to also say she tends to have really good patience for reading. So I think there's only one board book in here that we read when she was like 2, and she still really likes it. But for the most part, these are slightly longer, maybe a little bit more elaborate books overall. So these would, I think, also be appropriate for lots of older kids. I think some of these books she'll probably still enjoy when she's 4, and maybe even when she's older than that as well. So let's get started. I have a few piles here. I want to share her 2 favorites right now. These are the ones we're reading every single day and every single night. And they're kind of fall themed, which is why I pulled them out in the first place. But there's something about them. So we're going to start with The Giving Tree. This is on a lot of recommended lists of books for kids. It's really sad. It's really, it's kind of a dark book. It's by Shel Silverstein. Check it out. I was surprised by the depth of this one. Most kids' books have a simple message. It's very clear, to the point, what the moral of the story is. This one is a little, sadder and deeper. Actually, it literally brought tears to my eyes the first couple times I read it. I remember I was reading it to my kid at night for the first time, and I got towards the end, and I had to just, stare at the wall for a few seconds. I just stopped reading, stared at the wall, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. And then I kept reading. She didn't know it was up, but that was it's a deep book. I don't think any other children's book has moved me to tears in the past. The other one she's into is this very Amish Oxcart Man. It's it's cool because it goes through every single month. So it kind of tells the story of a season. We call it the Olden Days the book, because it's all about I don't know, how a self-sustaining family in the olden days might have existed. So she likes that one. Now I'm going to go in the opposite direction, pick the oldest book. The one that she's been reading since she was 2 is this ridiculous little board book called Potty, or shall I say P-O-T-T-Y, P-O-T-T-Y, because it's a song that's meant to be sung to the tune of Bingo. We got this from someone, I have no idea who, but we started reading it before she ever used the potty. And we have continued singing it ever since. Every now and then she pulls it out. She just wants to sing the potty book. So this one, huge, secret, surprising win. So I'm going to pick up my pile of Robert Munch and Dr. Seuss. I only picked 2 of each. So Robert Munch has a couple books that we've picked up for my daughter, and she really likes both of these. I would say, so we have The Fire Station and Mud Puddle. They're kind of just, I forgot, there's another one that she really likes too. It's the crayon one, the color one. Red, blue, and yellow, red, green, and yellow. It's something like that. That one's really fun too. I just forgot to grab it. But yeah, Robert Munch is good. They're not meaningful books. They're kind of silly. But they're fun. They're pretty, they're fun to read. She likes Mud Puddle, I think, better than Fire Station, but they're both pretty good. And then we have Dr. Seuss, A Fish Out of Water, and the ABC book get the most mileage in my house. The ABC book has been great. We've been doing this ever since she was 3. She just really likes it. She's memorized some of the pages. It's a really fun one. And A Fish Out of Water is just a cool story. This is actually one that I remember from my own childhood, which is why I picked it up, because it was nostalgic. But it's a fun story. It's really epic. It's actually a pretty long one too. So this is a good attention span book. Then I'm gonna finish with the last story type books that have gotten mileage. One of them is Cordroy by Don Freeman. So this is a classic. It's basically the story of a little teddy bear in a department store who has a broken button, and he's a little bit sad. No one wants to take him home until one day this girl finds him, but can't take him home because she can't afford him. And then all of a sudden he's going on this adventure looking for his lost button, and then the girl eventually takes him home. It's just a really nice story. I like reading this one. So that's one that I really like. One that she's been reading since she was in her 2s is How to Make Apple Pie and See the World. So this has been a big hit for a long time. It's kind of out of our rotation now, but we honestly, we've read this a ridiculous amount of times. So this probably is, this along with Potty, or probably her most read books in the 2 age range. This is a really cute book. It's basically the main character goes on an adventure to all the different countries that the ingredients for apple pie come from. So she gets wheat for the flour, and she gets apples, obviously. She gets sugar cane for the sugar, and a cow for the butter, and all those things. So it's a cute little adventure story. Now, the final 3 that I'm going to share with you are not stories at all. They've got some weight to them. These are kind of more like anthologies or informational type books. So the first one, which doesn't have its dust jacket cover, is a book called Seasons by Elaine Gree. I hope I pronounced that at least not the worst. So this is a really, really nice book. It's got beautiful artwork. Hopefully you can see this. And this is another one actually that she read a lot when she was 2. This was a huge hit for a long time. And this is just a cool book because it goes through all the seasons. It goes from spring to summer to winter to fall. And we read it like a storybook, but it's not a storybook. It basically just shares some things that happen in each particular season. I'm just going to flip to a random page. In the fall, maybe there's wind and rain and the girl's hat blows off. We like talking about the pictures, or, maybe snails and mushrooms come out more, things like that. So we really have enjoyed reading through this one in kind of our own style. So I'm not going to read everything on the page necessarily, but we'll talk about different things in the pictures, and that one's always been a fun one for us. Another fun one for us, this is a great animal book. I kind of want to get some of the other ones from this collection, but it's called The Big Book of Beasts. So this is just, basically has a couple dozen animals featured in this book. So, for example, we got foxes, and there's all these cute facts and pictures of foxes. We got wolves. The art is just really, really cool. I love the art in this book. So oftentimes, and I mean, they don't spare details, the lion is carnivorous and showing that it's eating an animal and stuff like that. So it's not a fluffy animal book either, even though it is cute. But it's got some interesting facts. So for there's a good one on beavers in here, talking about how beavers make their dams and how they're constructed. And we went to the museum the other day and we saw a life-size replication of what a beaver dam would look like, and it was huge, and it was cool because we could connect it to this animal book that we really enjoy reading from and flipping through. We definitely don't read this front to back. It's more of pick a few animals at a time kind of thing, but that's a really fun book. And finally, this is one of the newer ones. This is called See Inside Your Body by Katie Danes and Colin King. So this is a cool book. It's actually a board book, but it's that's because it shows you all about the body, and there's these little flaps that you can open, and it gives you more information when you open the flaps. So that's really cool. She was showing a little bit of an interest in anatomy, so I was like, why don't we just get her an anatomy book? So we did, and she really likes flipping through this one. I mean, she usually just likes opening the flaps more than anything else. But we do talk about some things, she has an understanding of, there's this good page called Eating and Excreting, where it goes through the digestive process. You start by eating food, goes down your food pipe, etc. So she's kind of curious about this. I think this is one of her favorite pages, particularly because it shows poop and how kids are with their fascination for that kind of stuff. Same goes for the final page, which is shows how the bladder works. So that's a good page. That's a beloved page as well. But there's neat stuff in here. It talks about the senses. There's a page on the brain. There's a page on bones and muscles, again, where you can kind of lift the flaps and get more information. This is a little, a lot of this is way too heady for a 3-year-old. Some of the, this side pumps blood to the lungs to get oxygen. There's valves. That's like, actually, that's not, some of it gets very, like, there's a lot of terminology, but I did not turn to the right page with the, like it talks about in the ears, there's ear bones, you have the cochlea. Yeah, it's kind of advanced. So we don't get into it heavy duty, but it is a fun book, and I think this one will get some mileage over the next couple of years. And those are the 12 books that I brought out. I'm going to show you just a couple more really quickly. These were the ones, I wanted to keep it to 12, so I did not include these ones, but I pulled them out, so I'll show you them anyway. Here We Are by Oliver Jeffers is a beautiful book on basically how the world works. So I love the images in this one. It's absolutely gorgeous. It talks about like day and night. It talks about land, talks about people, talks about the ocean a little bit. It's just a really, really lovely book, and we have read that quite a bit. And then we have the John Regan books, How to Babysit Grandma and How to Babysit Grandpa. These are cute. We like those, and we've read them quite a bit as well. So it's more than enough. That's probably really loud. I dropped that right in front of the microphone, so that was probably like quite the bang. Sorry about that. I hope your ears forgive me. Yeah, those are the books that we've been enjoying the most. Maybe I'll do another video like this in the future, but that's what I got right now. Hopefully, if you have a kid or you hang out with kids a lot, or you need gift ideas for kids in your life in that maybe like 2 to 5 age range, hopefully this gives you some ideas, and I'll catch you in the next video.